Hello and welcome. I'm Geeta Mohan and you're watching World Today. We begin with a big international story. Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin created history on the 14th of April with 11-minute space travel of first all-women crew in more than 60 years. New Shepard rocket successfully returned to Earth after an almost 11-minute flight. The 6 passengers were pop star Katy Perry, broadcaster Gayle King, journalist Lauren Sanchez, rocket scientist Aisha Bao, civil rights activist Amanda Nguyen, and film producer Carrie Ann Flynn. The crew traveled to the edge of space where they experienced a brief period of weightlessness and then they returned to Earth.
It's a very soft landing despite the sporty perception. There it is. Just seeing her mother go to space and come back.
After 11 minutes in space, the 6 famous women became astronauts on 14th April 2025. All 6 of them have already made their marks in life. Now they have left marks in space history as well.
I can't put it into words, but like I looked out the window and we got to see the moon.
No dream is too wild. It was the most incredible experience of my life.
This experience is second to being a mom.
They rang the bell as they moved forward to board their spacecraft for Blue Origin mission NS-31. Lauren Sanchez, Katy Perry, Amanda Nguyen, Gayle King, Aisha Bao, and Carrie Ann Flynn, strapped inside the 3.8-meter wide New Shepard capsule, waited for the takeoff. Blue Origin owner and Lauren Sanchez's fiancé was there to cheer them on.
I'm so excited for you. I don't want to get off. I want to go with you. And when you get back, I can't wait to hear how it's changed you. I love all of you. See you soon. Godspeed. Gudatum Ferociter.
Their friends and family waited for this incredible experience of space travel to come true.
I don't think I realized how emotional it was going to be, and I literally had chills all over my body from the second it launched until the moment I just saw it land. And it's sort of hard to explain because I don't think you would be that emotional. But
we've been friends since we were 21 and 22, and I have never been more proud of my friend than today. Never been more proud.
And then at 7 p.m. Indian Standard Time, they took off.
It is the highest high, and it is surrender to the unknown, trust, and this whole journey is not just about going to space. It's the training, it's the team, it's the whole thing. I couldn't recommend this experience more.
The moon was so beautiful, and that was I felt like that was a special gift just for me.
The best part was when we got back in our seats after 0 G's, Katie sang "What a Wonderful World." Everybody said, "Sing roar, sing fireworks," and she said, "It's not about me. I wanted to talk about the world."
Wow. Just seeing her mother go to space and come back. Soft landing despite the
As the capsule touched down in the middle of the Texas desert, family and friends in the gallery were teary-eyed, excited and proud.
I'm asking this question for your fans. Will you write a song about this experience?
Oh, for sure, 100%. And not only that, I got to reveal my set list for the tour on a butterfly. How apropos.
All 6 women, after the 11 minutes in space and 14 minutes long mission, build a sisterhood in space travel for humanity to follow. Bureau Report, India Today.
And joining us now is Subodh Tripathi, Senior Assistant Editor, Science, India Today Network. Subodh, thank you so much for joining me. This is a big moment. It's historic. It is one that takes us a step forward when it takes the science and technology space world a step forward when it comes to women's participation. Is that how the space world is seeing it?
Definitely, Geeta. This is the first all-women flight, space flight of this century. In fact, not just of 2025, but of the 21st century. The last time an all-women flight launched into space was in 1963, when Russian cosmonaut Tereskova launched into space as the first women in space. Ever since, in the last 62 years, there has been no such flight, even from NASA, SpaceX, that an all-women crew has gone into space. This was the first time. Over the years, we have seen many female astronauts take the reins, go to the space station, launch with a space shuttle. I mean, Indian origin, Sunita Williams, Kalpana Chawla were all part of this list. However, this is the first time that an all-women crew launched into space. Even the communications manager was a female engineer of Blue Origin. So this was a historic moment. It symbolizes that the idea was to inspire women and especially girls to take up STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics in schools and in high schools to basically prosper into this field. And I think the crew completely did that.
Right, but Sibu, let's make a distinction. This is, in many ways, space tourism as opposed to having women participate in the space programs. We have learned that the Artemis program had a lot of women participation. But do you see that as actually a step forward where you will see women participating, like the glass ceiling really breaking over here? Do you see that happen, or is this just space tourism trying to send out a message, but will that message translate into real action?
I think it goes both ways. I mean, I do see some sort of transformation happening after this. More and more girls and women being inspired to take STEM forward and to go into space or into other different fields of science and technology, right? Apart from that, as you talked about the Artemis mission, I mean, a first woman is going around the moon with Artemis mission. A first person of color will be going around the moon in Artemis mission, which is likely to launch next year. So I do see that there's going to be a change. That change might be slow, but it's definitely going to happen. I mean, NASA has special programs run just for women candidates, women interns, and women scientists to come up and take aerospace engineering forward. And we have seen over the years this progressing into a full-fledged field being taken up by women. We see this change also in India. I mean, the Mangalyaan mission, we all remember, that was huge success for India, was operated and run by women engineers. The Perseverance rover, which is currently driving and thriving on Mars at the moment, looking for signs of life, is driven by an Indian woman, an Indian origin woman. So there is this huge liking and taking towards STEM subjects in this field, and I do see there is a change happening here.
Right, Sibu, thank you so much for joining us here. This is history in the making. 6 women, all of them in an all-women crew spacecraft, went to space. An 11-minute, what now can be termed a joyride. There was a lot of anxiety that we saw earlier from the family that was waiting to see them come back, to see them return, to those who were on board, went up, came down. Katy Perry touched the ground. All of them were welcomed by family and friends, and it just is a moment to relish because this is history in the making. Now, global technology stocks rose on Monday after the US exempted electronics such as smartphones and computer hardware from its steep reciprocal tariffs on China. Amidst the growing tensions with US-China tariff war, this has offered some relief to a sector battered by supply chain uncertainty. On the other hand, China's exports jumped 12.4% in March from a year earlier in a last-minute flurry of activity as companies rushed to beat increases in US tariffs imposed by President Donald Trump.
Chinese President Xi Jinping landed in Hanoi on Monday for a two-day state visit in his most direct effort to firm up alliances in an all-out trade war against the US. He heads for Cambodia next, his first trip to the country in 9 years, and then for Malaysia, his first trip in 12 years. China had earlier approached India, Australia, and even Saudi Arabia to form an axis against the US.
If you look at that, China, first row.
All this effort to blunt Donald Trump's trade attack. The US president last week ratcheted his tariffs against China to an unimaginable 145%. China refused to blink and hit back with 125%. During the weekend, Trump parried the attack, deflecting the blow by exempting tech imports, but keeping the uncertainty simmering by announcing that electronics hardware will soon be a national security trade probe.
So this is not like a permanent sort of exemption. He's just clarifying that these are not available to be negotiated away by countries. These are things that are national security that we need to be made in America.
China and the US enjoy a significantly symbiotic trade relationship. US was China's largest trade partner in 2024, but had a massive trade deficit, burning a $263 billion hole in its budget. The top US exports to China include $16 billion worth of oilseeds and grains, which kept China's poultry business running. Also, as of March 27, China had purchased 22.12 million metric tons of US soya beans for shipment in 2024-25, which ends on August 31st. Other exports included electrical equipment and fuel, both strategic in nature, machinery, aircraft and parts, plastics and pharma comprised the other top exports. Top imports from China include mobile phones and other gadgets, laptops and appliances, toys, plastic products, prefab materials, textiles and footwear. According to the US Bureau of Economic Analysis, the latest exemptions by the Trump administration for smartphones, laptops and other tech imports will account for nearly $100 billion in imports as per the 2024 figures. They, however, remain subject to a prior 20% fentanyl-related tariff. Meanwhile, China has raised the stakes against the US by halting exports of 6 critical rare earth minerals and magnets which are refined and produced only within its borders. These are needed to make everything from cars, drones, missiles and semiconductors. Bureau Report, Business Today Television.
Donald Trump's doctor says the oldest man-elected US president is fully fit to serve as commander-in-chief as the White House released results of Trump's recent physical exam. The 78-year-old Trump is 20 pounds lighter since his checkup as president in 2020. At the end of his last term, his physical exam showed him bordering on obesity. Donald Trump had an answer ready for his perfect score on his latest physical examination. Listen in.
How do you stay so healthy? How do you stay so energized?
Because I enjoy what I'm doing and I like the results. I think we're making America great again, and it makes me feel good, and it probably keeps me happy. Yeah, okay? Thank you. That's a nice question. I like this.
Well, I mean, everyone's wondering, like, how in the world do you do it, Mr. President? 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm 55 years old. And I can't keep up with you.
55. What a nice age that is. Have a good time.
US President Donald Trump's epic UFC 314 entry in Miami has gone viral. Crowd erupted in chant as he danced with Dana White. President Trump's contempt for legacy media is well known. But when he introduced his granddaughter, Kai Trump, to the media, he was open and savagely candid as he called them fake news.
Hello, Kai. Come on over here. You know the fake news? This is the fake news.
Hey, what's up, everyone? How are you guys? Good morning.
Crazy
not everyone gets acknowledged by President Trump. At UFC 314, Trump walked past his cabinet minister, RFK Jr.'s wife, Cheryl Hines, and did not bother to shake out outstretched hands.
Pretty incredible. It's insane.
President, China retaliated today by reducing the number of American films that can be shown there. What's your reaction to them now targeting cultural exports from the United States?
I think I've heard of worse things.
During a cabinet meeting at the White House on Thursday, Trump sparked a wave of laughter after responding to a reporter's question about China. As tensions between the two nations continue to rise, his light-hearted remark caught everyone by surprise, providing a brief moment of comic relief amidst the serious discussions.
What's your reaction to them now targeting cultural exports from the United States?
I think I've heard of worse things.
US President Donald Trump has replaced the official portrait of former President Barack Obama in the White House's grand entry hallway with a painting of himself surviving an assassination attempt, and as usual, it has gone viral.
As Russia hit the Ukrainian city of Sumy with its ballistic missiles, the world, including Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy, reacted shockingly and sternly demanded that Russia should be pressured to put an end to the war.
As the world witnessed another terrible attack on Ukraine's city of Sumy, hit by Russia's ballistic missiles, US President Donald Trump called it a mistake.
Do you have a reaction to Russia's Palm Sunday attack?
I think it was terrible, and I was told they made a mistake, but I think it's a horrible thing. I think the whole war is a horrible thing.
US plays a crucial role in negotiations to end the Ukraine war as part of Donald Trump's campaign promise. The American president has also promised additional sanctions on Russia if Moscow failed to reach a deal.
When you say they made a mistake in the attack, you said they made a mistake. You were told they made a mistake. Do you mean it was unintentional?
They made a mistake. I believe it was. Look, you're going to ask them. This is Biden's war. This is not my war.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy condemned the attack and called it an act of filthy scoundrels.
Удар прийшовся просто по центру міста.
The attack hit the center of the city on Palm Sunday. Only filthy scoundrels can act like this. Today, many state leaders, diplomats, regular people with big hearts expressed their sympathy towards Ukraine and Ukrainians. They condemned the Russian attack.
Свої співчуття Україні, українцям. Засудили російський удар.
Meanwhile, responding to the Sumy attack, Kremlin said Russia's military only strikes military targets.
Наши военные
Our military strikes only military and quasi-military targets.
околовоенным целям.
The European Union called for maximum pressure on Russia to put an end to such deadly attacks. Foreign ministers of EU assembled in Luxembourg for a one-day meeting with Ukraine as the top agenda.
Well, of course, we're going to discuss, but right now I think we have to put the pressure, the maximum pressure on Russia to really end this war, because it takes two to want peace. It only takes one to want war, and we see that Russia really wants war. And all those who want the killing to stop should put the maximum pressure on Russia.
Sumy's acting mayor had announced a 3-day mourning for the victims. The deadliest attack of the year took place while residents were enjoying Palm Sunday and attending morning church services. The Russian missiles killed at least 34 people in Sumy on 13th April. With Mahashweta Lala, Bureau Report, India Today.
After years of threats, walkouts and war talk, Iran and the United States of America are finally back at the negotiating table. The two sides just wrapped up indirect nuclear talks in Oman, and surprisingly, both say things went well. But with uranium enrichment racing ahead and Trump warning of military action if there's no deal, is this a real breakthrough or just a pause before the next blow-up?
In a much-needed diplomatic shift, Iran and the US chaired indirect talks on Tehran's escalating nuclear program. The meeting took place on April 13th in Oman. This meeting was completely mediated by Omani officials. This comes as Iran refused face-to-face dialogue with representatives of US President Donald Trump. Instead, messages were exchanged via the Omani foreign minister. Iranian foreign minister Abbas Araghchi told state television that the atmosphere was productive, calm and positive.
I think the Omani foreign minister shuttled between the Iranian and US delegations about 4 times, and the views of both sides were conveyed to each other. It lasted about 2.5 hours, and in my opinion, as a first meeting, it was a productive one. It took place in a calm and positive atmosphere. No inappropriate language was used.
Meanwhile, Trump says that he will make a decision on Iran very quickly.
Well, we're going to be doing it very shortly. Iran also. It was another way. I met with a different group of people in Iran, and we'll be making a decision on Iran very quickly.
Despite the optimism, deep divisions remain. Iran continues to enrich uranium to 60%, a technical step away from weapons grade. Tehran maintains its nuclear program is peaceful, but Western powers and Israel believe that it is a cover to develop atomic weapons. Moreover, Trump has threatened military action if Iran doesn't curb its uranium enrichment program. A second round of talks is set to take place in Rome, as confirmed by Italy's foreign minister Antonio Tajani. A breakthrough may be guaranteed, but de-escalation is needed in a region gripped by war and mistrust. Bureau Report, India Today.
Fugitive diamond trader Mehul Choksi, accused in the 13,500 crore rupee Punjab National Bank scam, has been arrested in Belgium. According to sources, the 65-year-old was taken into custody on the 12th of April from a hospital in Belgium where he was reportedly undergoing treatment. His arrest came at the request of Indian agencies, including the CBI and the Enforcement Directorate, which had secured non-bailable warrants against him from Mumbai courts. Choksi, who fled India in the year 2018, had been residing in Antigua and Barbuda before recently relocating to Antwerp, Belgium, with his wife Preeti Choksi, who is a Belgian citizen. In September 2024, India formally requested his extradition, but Choksi's legal team opposed it, citing his blood cancer diagnosis. ED officials, however, argued that he was capable of returning to India for treatment, just as he had travelled from Antigua to Belgium. Choksi's legal team is now preparing a bail plea and is expected to oppose his extradition in Belgian courts. The central government has welcomed the development, with officials stating that Prime Minister Narendra Modi had vowed not to spare those who looted the country and to recover the stolen money. With that, it's a wrap in this edition of World Today. But before I go, here is a rare and historic Golconda vivid blue diamond weighing at over 23 carats and is set to be auctioned at Christie's. The diamond's origin adds to its lore. The gem was once owned by the Maharaja of Indore. It was discovered at the legendary Golconda mines, known for producing some of the world's most famous diamonds, including the Hope Diamond. The Golconda Blue is being sold as part of Christie's Magnificent Jewels auction in Geneva on the 14th of May, and the sale is expected to set a record. Estimates run between $35 to $50 million. Goodbye and take care.